Bill, first of all, thanks for sitting down with me. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you're back in San Antonio. You've been here before. What does San Antonio mean for you historically?
Well, I mean, that river walk is just the greatest thing in the world. I mean, my daughter and I walked it today, and I can remember the last time the Righteous Brothers were here. We spent maybe too much time on the river walk, but it's just so soulful. And I'm glad to see that the downtown is getting it back, and it's a great city, and they got to stay at it.
The core has definitely been revitalized. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about your career. Talk about the Righteous Brothers, the name for a second. Where did the name come from, and what does it mean?
Well, Bobby and I were put together, and we were the Paramours, and we were working in Southern California, where we were raised, out where Disneyland is. And it was very white area, but there was a Marine base there called El Toro Marine Base, and a lot of the black Marines heard that these two white guys were down at the club singing rhythm and blues. So they would come in, and they would have a saying. If there was something they really liked, they would say, "Man, that's righteous." If they liked you as a brother, they'd call you, or they liked you as a friend, they'd call you a brother. So when we would come to work sometimes, they'd say, "Hey, Righteous Brother, how you doing?" Which meant good friend. And I wrote a song called Little Latin Loopy Loo that became a West Coast hit. And we needed a name, and Bobby said, "Let's use a name that the guys, the Marines have been calling us." And it stuck.
What was the initial reaction to the name? I'm sure some people liked it and probably some didn't.
Some people liked it, some people, I think Billy Graham, which I'm a huge Billy Graham fan, we were asked in an airport when we first made it, in some interview, he said, "Well, what do you think about Billy Graham saying no man should call himself righteous?" He said, "Billy Graham, he said, we're not that crazy about his crackers." And so I moved away from him as fast as I could so the lightning could hit him.
Right.
But everybody, it was kind of like the name the Beatles, those names. Well, what an odd name, in my day, you would call the Cadillacs or the Orioles and all that stuff. But Righteous Brothers caught on.
Did you ever think about changing it?
Yeah, to the Beatles.
And what happened?
Oh, we got caught.
Oh, they took it over. Got it. What's your favorite song to perform?
Favorite song to perform? Well, it's real difficult because all your hits are like your children, You hate them all. And no, you love them all. And really our favorite song is a song that followed Love and Feeling called Just Once in My Life. And it was written by Carole King, and it's just a really great song. A lot like Love and Feeling, but and it kind of got lost. But it was a top 5 record, and but that was our favorite.
Talk about Love and Feeling for a second. One of the most, if not the most played song in America.
Yep, the most played record in the history of American radio.
What's it like knowing that that's your song?
It's the hardest thing so far to screw, both Bobby and I, to screw our head onto, because, like I've said a few times, going into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was amazing. It was great. But there's like 300 people in there. Having the most played record in the history of America that's you. And I think the Beatles Yesterday is right behind us, about 1 million airplays behind us. So it will probably forever be the most played record in the history of American radio, because today they just don't, they don't play songs like that anymore on the radio, or not a lot. You're around for 6 months and you're gone.
What does that song mean to you in terms of what's the story behind it? What's it about in your eyes?
In my eyes, well, You've Lost That Love and Feeling. I'm afraid all of us know what that feels like. You never close your eyes when I kiss your lips. It just was so great, especially in those days, to sing such a grown-up, strong, serious ballad, because we were kind of replacing Frankie Avalon, Fabian, all, that kind of thing. I don't want to say bubblegum, but that kind of thing. So this was a real powerful love song. So for me, I know that as a fan, if it would have been Jerry Butler singing it or something, I would have loved it. It was just a great song, and I'm very proud that they wrote this song for us.
Would we be sitting here today, and would you have had the success that you've had without Phil Spector? How did Phil Spector play into your career?
Well, no, I wouldn't be here. Well, I might have. I mean, we had 2 or 3, 4 hits on the West Coast that did real well, and we started doing a TV show called Shindig, which was a national show. So we started to become very nationally known. But at the same time, Phil Spector called our record label and said, "I want to produce the Righteous Brothers," and he told Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil, "I'm going to record the Righteous Brothers, write a song for them," and they wrote "Love and Feelin'." I know the Righteous Brothers that our audiences know today wouldn't be there, because we would have stayed pretty true to our rhythm and blues, rock and roll thing, which probably would have had a quicker life to it, shelf life. And but to be able to do songs like "Love and Feelin'" that are still talked about and heard today and in movies and stuff, we were just blessed, with Unchained Melody. They put it in Ghost. I recorded I've Had the Time of My Life for Dirty Dancing, and that all happened in a 3-year period at the end of the 80s, and we were hotter than ever in 1990. That's probably when we came back here.
Back to Phil Spector for a quick second. Did you stay in touch with him as his life kind of unraveled a little bit? Any idea of what kind of happened to him?
No, I don't. I have a mutual friend, a very good friend of mine, Nino Tempo, who was very good friends with Phil Spector. He had a group, April Stevens and Nino Tempo, back in the 60s. And he kind of stays involved. But Phil has been pretty, since he's been away, pretty just to himself, living out his situation. And it's just, well, the whole thing is just very ugly. He's a brilliant, brilliant, brilliant man that did a very, very stupid thing. Do I think he's a murderer? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. He just did a stupid thing, and it went wrong. All went wrong. That doesn't take anything away from the girl and her family. It's just horrible.
All right, let's get back to business here. You've been an opening act. You guys have been an opening act for the Beatles.
Yeah.
What was that like, and where?
Well, all
Throughout
over
the
the
tour?
States, yeah. It was their first American tour. And like I say on stage, I can't tell you how it was to be on stage singing your brains out and in front of 30, 40,000 screaming kids, clapping and screaming, "We want the Beatles." Woo! Man, and I wish that was a joke. It ain't. But we went to the Beatles and said, "Listen, we have an opportunity to do this TV show Shindig. Can we leave the tour early?" And they were very sweet about it. But it was amazing because thank God it started on the West Coast where we were pretty big. Actually, we were bigger than the Beatles. Not after the show, but and then when we got to the outside of the West Coast, it got pretty ugly.
Now, Vegas. Let's talk about Vegas for a second. I understand you were one of the first acts to play Vegas. What was Vegas like back in the beginning?
Well, I'm asked that a lot. How's Vegas changed? I said it hasn't changed. It's not here anymore. It literally has been imploded, and these big hotels have. So it's totally different. In '65 or '66, Frank Sinatra took Bobby and I to Las Vegas. And we were at the Sands Hotel at the age of 25 years old with the Rat Pack. That's all I can tell you. The rest of it, you'll have to read the book. But Frank Sinatra, and we still don't know why. We just figured that Nancy and Tina or something were in the room because we had to get his okay, or the hotel had to, because he would bring his people into the lounge after his show, so he had to okay who was in there. And why he said yes to the Righteous Brothers, still today I don't have a clue. We were apples and oranges. That would be like us saying, yeah, Snoop Dogg would be great. It's just apples and oranges. Now, I love Snoop Dogg, but it's just two different genres, you know. And but he was wonderful, and he would bring his people in. We always knew when he was bringing his people in, and if these stories are too long, you can go snip. That, thank God, there were lines to get in our show. We did 3 shows. It was sold out. You couldn't get in. But we knew Mr. Frank Sinatra was coming in to the show and bringing his people, because there would be a line of empty row of tables from the front of the stage all the way to the back, and there would be a bottle of Jack Daniels every other table. So we knew Frank Sinatra was coming in.
What don't people know about you? What's kind of a unique thing that you like to do, or you've done, or that you think would surprise people?
Boy, you know, I've been blessed, you know, and I'll be 75 this year. I'm out here with my 28-year-old daughter, who's getting married this year, and McKenna, and you know, I mean, I don't know what else. I don't know what else I could ask for. You know, I mean, I have an incredible family. Still being able to come out here and sing, and so I don't know what to ask for. You know, but I'm sure I will at some point.
All right. Can I give you a rapid fire round?
Sure.
All right. What'd you have for breakfast?
A hamburger.
The best city you ever lived in?
Best city I ever lived in? Newport Beach, California.
Favorite movie?
Son of a Woman.
First car?
55 Chevy.
Biggest mistake?
55 Chevy. No, biggest mistake. Third wife.
Biggest accomplishment?
My 4th wife.
Can you tell me a joke?
A clean one? No, I can't.
Doesn't have to be clean.
A joke. Oh God.
What would you want to? You don't have to.
Yeah, I'll think.
Okay.
I'll think of one.
How would your daughter describe you?
How would my daughter?
Yep.
Oh man, probably. I've heard her being interviewed, and when they say, "How is it to be raised by your dad?" She said, "He's my dad. I've seen him in his underwear." You know, that takes the glamour off.
What things do you not like to do? What annoys you when you don't? You'd rather have somebody else do it. You don't want to do it.
Well, all the business end. That's why you have a business manager and a manager, and anything that isn't artistic, I don't want to know about.
How do you want to be remembered?
Oh boy, just being remembered would be good, but just hopefully as a good father and a good husband, and that I made some people smile.
All right, ready? Go for it. Whenever you're ready.
You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss. That's all I can do for free. I lost that love and feeling. Oh, that love and feeling. You lost that feeling, now it's gone.
Is there anything you want to add, that you want to say, that you want to kind of throw out there for us that I didn't bring up?
Just I hope they come to my show tomorrow night. They'll be surprised. Because I'm always surprised that the show comes out as good as it does. But it's a lot of fun, and I do all the Righteous Brother hits, and my daughter, like I say, it's a fun show.
Bill, thank you.
Thank you, my brother.
Appreciate
That's
it.
great.